Yeah. It's similar with me too, because I'll be suggesting shit that nobody should ever go for. It's like,
Right,
oh,
like
he could shock bomb this. It's not even doesn't even have shock bomb in his book. Just
all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are finally here. I have been excited for this for near a month now to reach the conclusion, but I must say I was entertained the entire way. So many spectacular opponents in this tournament. And now we have reached the finals. Nev vs. DX on Sky Castles. My name is Pierce. I'm here tonight to help guide us through this spectacular event, and I am very blessed and grateful to be joined here by Oa. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. This is gonna surely be the best match of the tournament, hopefully. There's two titans of the game, legends, pillars of the game. They've clashed many times over the years. They have a
Many.
long history together. This is gonna be a bloodbath for sure.
100%. And of course, there is much to enjoy with the best 2 out of 3 format. And in addition to that, you've got DX, who many would consider, almost unanimously consider, to be the strongest player in Arcanists history, versus Nev, who is the reigning champion. So it's very tense. It's like a Titan versus Titan, King versus King. Reaching to claim their dominance over the current metagame, over the precise state that we're in right now in this tournament. And I'm really, really eager to see who comes out on top, because I do think either player is definitely capable of this victory.
I agree. One of the most interesting things about this matchup is how much history these two have together. They've been
Mm-hmm.
playing all the way since the original game on Fun Orb, all the way in like 2009. They've been playing together all these years, clashing all these years, and so they're very very familiar with one another, and so it's very interesting to me to see what the books are going to look like in this first game, because I don't think DX has actually changed his book a single time in any of the matches he's played. He's played the same book, undefeated with the same book going the entire way through. So
Wow.
Nev is definitely one to, yeah, he's definitely capable of countering, and we'll see if he decides to do that or what kind of mind games are at play here.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these players are known not only for their accuracy, but also for their preparation. And DX does a lot of preparation before any important match. So if he found a book that he feels is very, very strong, I think that's probably because he doesn't feel particularly contested on the book. But I think it would be a humongous mistake to think that he has nothing else up his sleeve if he runs into an obstacle. If Nev shows that he came prepared and shows counters to his book, or shows a solution to his book, that DX feels uncomfortable running it back in games 2 or 3. But we are going to get straight into the game now. Option
This
to
is
spec is now live. Go ahead.
this is another one of these classic spawns where one player spawns on the outside, doesn't have access to the middle of the map without using flight or leap, or vine break. It's something, a movement ability, and it kind of, you don't really want to give up too much information on turn one, um, if you can help it, right? So like even if he has like flight or something in his book, it's just safer to summon a minion, because then you leave that open to interpretation.
Sure. The drone is definitely there. One of the more dominant minions on the map. It's able to take out smaller minions like Swarm. It's able to fly around to give you jumping patterns in order to access different spots on the map. Um, it just gets a lot of work done. Has its own attack power. It's very safe, easily respawnable. But Nev does concede the center of the map to DX, and DX does not waste time getting himself to cut off Nev from access to most of the map.
Yeah, DX is I don't think he's struggled a single game in the times that I've watched him, and this is a very very common position he's reached. This exact play, these exact two moves we saw versus Increased DX game one, where Increase spawned left side, he summoned drone, DX came over, he blocked him off with a clock tower.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how Nev chooses to approach this. I know that Increase decided to just jump over, and we'll see how Nev wants to do it.
Okay, now let me ask you a question, Noah. And we do see the jump over on this line, but why do you think that DX chose not to clock tower on the edge of the cliff instead of, because you could see he walked to it and then kind of reconsidered and moved back a little bit, right? Do you think he was afraid of Nev using a move that would drop him?
Probably he. I mean, I don't think he. I think as long as he's blocking the drone from getting across the other side, he's probably isn't really thinking too much far past that. The idea is cutting him off from the drone, and splitting it in half. Also, it creates opportunity because DX has been taking pocket sand, um, every single game. So he definitely wants to try and create weird positional opportunities to maybe he can get pocket sand off as well.
Yeah. Okay. DX cutting off that entire area. You will not be able to drift out of the summon zone. Excuse me, not the summon swarm, the Ori of Decay there with the clock tower. But the question is, are we going to counterattack? I don't think the Ori of Decay by itself is a threat here. Prickly Barrier, though, is a big threat. That's going to wear down the tower pretty fast.
That's a great spec on by Nev here. Great predict. It great spell in this position because it forces DX out of his fortress. Or I should say fortress when that's an actual spell in the game. It forces him out of the little stronghold
Out of
he
the
had
clock
there.
tower, yeah.
Yeah. He set up a bastion in a way where he can sit there and summon minions, or I mean, he cut the map in half, and it kind of forces him out. And this means that Nev also has a spear too, which is a win condition in of itself.
Yeah,
Aside from
consistent
DK,
damage source. Yeah, having a consistent damage source on a 60s map, I think, is really, really important. And I think it's something that a lot of players struggled with is simply running out of damage after their opponent made accurate defensive decisions. And DX is not exactly one who's going to easily defensively blunder, so making sure that you have enough firepower in the long term to play the game is really important. But both players seem to now be abandoning their early towers. DX gets himself set up with
this
its
looks like
swarm.
maybe a pocket sand coming out here. Aggressive pocket sand.
Let's see.
Oh no,
Nope,
he just
it's a
decides to
javelin.
spirit. Okay.
Exactly as you called it, and that's going to charge the javelin up a little bit.
Now it is
Yeah,
interesting.
go ahead.
If he does have pocket sand, that's an interesting. He might, DX might not think that he has it now because he didn't choose to use it there. So at a later, because Nev's known to make plays like that too, where he'll sandbag spells and then wait for an opportunity where he can really punish you for it because you assume he doesn't have it. So he might still have pocket sand, and that was a good play to kind of set up for maybe cashing in some equity on a later turn.
Definitely a possibility. And of course, because of the need to use Javelin as often as possible, I'm sure that even whether he has Pocket Sand or not, I'm sure he's just delighted to go ahead and get a cast off the Javelin there. He doesn't have to recollect it since it KO'd a unit, so it just comes back automatically. All of these things were just very convenient for him there. DX sets up his Pegasus here as well. That's going to keep the minion count to 1-to-1. DX now has mobility option if he wants to uh, retake the fight to control the center of the map. But yeah, Nev's not having that. Just drops a far seed on him, knowing that he's got a prickly barrier threat available again in a few turns, meaning that DX is going to have to answer this. We do know that DX has a fairy jump, which might be able to get him out of this spot, but he's not going to want to consume um, that cooldown. Not just the cooldown, but the usage.
Well, it wouldn't get out until the tree breaks, and a lot of the times what you'll see is players, because it takes a turn to use tree. If you can wait the tree's lifespan and just summon minions, you're actually getting a tempo on your opponent if you can outlive the tree.
Yes,
It
yeah.
is risky because it allows them to kind of punish your minions, and you really can't respond because you're still in the tree, which we might be seeing here. But
The question is, I don't necessarily think that DX is heavily incentivized to rush himself out of the tree.
oh
Right?
no, he's not at all.
Right.
DX is one, and I know you said you haven't been watching as much of DX as you wanted to recently, but in the games that I've seen from him, he's dominated by getting an early DK out in the center of the map, and he's just so good at laddering. He's killed so many people at this point. Just people they don't think that he can ladder his DK to them, but he's just so proficient at it that he's able to, and he gets the kill.
Well, it
This
looks like Go ahead.
I was gonna say this seems like a decent spot to put it because it's got the Pegasus. He retook the center. Nev doesn't have tree and he can't mud the DK. So this is a prime opportunity potentially for DX. We might see his calling card of getting that DK out early.
And what I was going to say is it was very impressive of DX to quickly calculate that in Nev's decision to mud bomb the drone, he trapped himself because the way the mud bomb spread happened to create the perfect terrain that traps in Nev between the Pegasus, the lower cloud, the tree, etc., etc. So Nev has himself a little bit in a pickle there, right? And DX saw this and immediately used the tempo to perform a positional reversal with gate. Whereas before he was very happy to just sit in the tree for a while. He's like, okay, well, if Nev is going to just be cut off and my Pegasus is just going to get value for free, right? He didn't even use this Pegasus to create this value. It was just more that the Pegasus was there and then just happened to come into such tremendous value blocking off Nev. DX was like, okay, you know what? I'll win the tempo for free and I'll be in such an excellent spot afterwards. So
Yep, he's
Nev
in a
pulled that. Go
commanding
ahead.
position right now
Yeah,
in
right
terms
now
of
it's
like
really good.
yeah, one of the that's the issue, right? Is Nev got a little aggressive there. It was a bit of a positional miscalc, for sure. Because if he wants to escape and get, yeah, there we go. There's the DK.
Yep.
If Nev wants to escape, he's probably going to end up freeing either the peg or the drone if he wants to escape with a flash or something along those lines, right? So
Yeah, but Nev is, we'll say, almost officially down a tempo. He's got a little bit of time here. I wonder if he's considering if he can micro this drone to buy himself time over the DK.
the left side is fairly well. It's not really open. That's the thing with DX is he's so lethal with the DK because he summons it up top and you can't block it off the map because he'll just border hop and then get his DK over there anyway. So he's definitely
Yeah. Nev is searching for an answer. 1 second left. Okay, prickly barrier comes out, so no queuing. And let's see if the DK is going to get immediately active, because that's the real question in my mind right now. Is this DK going to just find his angle, right? Or is DX missing a tiny bit of setup that he needs to launch an attack? Because the only thing between this 100 health Dark Knight and Nev right now is an itty bitty swarm. And there's also a Pegasus that is still being spoken of, so.
yeah.
30 seconds burn, though. Not much progress made. DX is calculating, but it doesn't look like he solved it just yet.
There was a couple of options Nev had too if he wanted to actually gate, which he might do here, depending. Just like left side and right side are both fairly safe, but it doesn't look like that's in any interest to him. He's looking to fight back a little bit. Very risky because this is DX's wheelhouse, is having a DK in a commanding in a strategic spot and just using his mechanics to get it over to you.
You have to wonder, oh, what's happening here? Blast from the past. Triggering down. Does he have Aura of Decay to steal the Pegasus? He does! That's gonna block off the Death Knight from taking the most direct path. Now, obviously, it does look like the Death Knight can probably still... Actually, no, wait. There's a little cloud above the Pegasus. I don't think the Death Knight can squeeze down there to cut down. I think he's going to have a good time evading the bulk of a charge. Right? If he could get a little closer, maybe onto the top of that tower, it could be a little different. But I'm not 100% convinced that we're going to have like the cleanest cut here through to Nev. But it is possible that he just goes clean through the Pegasus and hits. It looks like DX is lining up the attack. So
yes,
he's
looking. He's 100% looking to charge here.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, even if he lands a charge and it's not doing overwhelming damage, just taking out the Pegasus and putting the big damage onto Nev, it's only 65, but catching the Pegasus and dealing the 65 is good, and he did it in such an amazing way that Nev cannot move. Um, Obviously, we do have Blast of the Past available, so we are going to be able to see. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
This
that's
is
tough. That's
he
very
was
tough.
not able to escape. I thought that maybe he would be able to Blast of the Past and escape,
He
or he could possibly consider like maybe Blast of the Past, and then hit the DK with a spell as well. But I'm not sure if he'd be able to do that and not stun himself with the Blast of the Past. Like it's just a really tricky spot. But it looks like I don't know. Nev is getting. I almost
so
want to say, and I don't say this too easily, like a little unlucky with some of these spots. Like,
he can he could spear the DK, but yeah, him positioning that drone to stop from a border bounce here is just he's just simply um trying to get a little breathing room. But he could have used ult to spear, but the issue with that is DX takes Mega Boulder in his book, and there's no reason to assume he doesn't have it. So you get Mega Bouldered at 185 health, and you're down to like 70 HP, and you're still losing the game. Like you're in a really bad spot if he kills the DK anyway.
yeah, I think both players probably have Mega Boulder since we did see the Mud Ball come out from Nev, and I definitely think that Nev understood that that position was extremely compromised. It'll be interesting to see if the Death Knight, at its current HP value, does manage to find a way back into the game, and how DX makes progress from here. Does he go for another summon, or is he going to look to trap? Does he have Living Seed? Is he able to lock down the position? There is the seed. Far, excuse me, I said Living Seed. I meant Far Seed, but
Yeah,
yes,
it is a living. It is kind of a living seed, yeah.
yeah,
But I mean, this is just like this is just clockwork for DX. Every game I've seen him in, this is why in the pregame when we were kind of talking, I said I was surprised because normally when I'm playing against DX, I'm just smacking him silly until either I lose or he loses, and I don't really get to see this side of him very often. But he's very. I mean, you're probably right. I would say I would classify DX as playing extremely aggressively. Now it's not. He doesn't have an aggressive book, but the way that he seizes opportunities and just goes for the throat immediately, no questions asked, is a very aggressive way of playing the game. It's very rush oriented, but it's just he's not playing a rush book. So like he's just. I don't know. I find it very very exciting to watch because
yeah,
normally people they like they don't want to lose, so they play very very safe, and it's nice to see DX go for these extremely um I don't want to say flashy, but just decisive moves so early on in the game to
100%.
create these interesting flows.
Yeah, I personally find DX his greatest strength is how precise of a player he is, and I definitely have to agree with your analysis there. That I do think that many Arcanist players um, take very loss adverse lines, right, and they try to outvalue their opponent or systematically gain an advantage through tempo or position until they feel very very comfortable ending the game. But DX, I think his playstyle tends more to um, incrementally suppress his opponents, even from an early position, and he takes the smallest leads and creates them into big ones by pressing his advantage constantly. And I think that this is something many players try to do, but I think that DX just excels at it in a way that few other players can compete, which is why he's been such a dominant champion for such a long time. And you see, even a player like Nev in this particular game, and I'm not saying that I definitely think that Nev is an insane player in his own right. I think this game so far has not shown the potential of what I would expect from Nev. I think that Nev has some fairly, like I said, I don't usually like to use this term, but maybe some fairly unlucky positions, like his Blast of the Blast, um, not hitting the way he wanted to, the Mud Bomb trapping him in what I would presume to be almost definitely an unexpected way. I mean, these kind of situations, as they dynamically emerge in a map, you make a mistake like this against DX, and he suppresses you for it. You know, I am eager to see what happens in the remainder of this game now that Nev has finally got himself free from the clutches of a DK threat and out from directly underneath DX's sphere of aggressive influence, how he's going to be able to build back up his own resources and get back into the game. So far, DX has won a 65 health advantage. And we do see Nev coming out with the totem, which is going to allow him to control the tempo of attack and the pacing of the battlefield a little bit. So that's definitely something that I think the Nev will be able to convert into a potential advantage for him as well. But I don't think DX is going to stop attempting to make progress on the position as both players start to now build up their minion count. And if Nev is not able to recover that 65 HP, it's going to be very, very costly when these two players are once again staring at each other with bolts, bombs, and beams.
So there's a couple of interesting things about this position that need to be solved. The first one, from Nev's perspective, is he's got to solve the border hop situation, and
Mm-hmm.
from DX's perspective, he has to solve getting his DK back. So there are a couple ways that he's gonna want to do it. Most likely he's just gonna wait for the Armageddon to free it and then um, peg it over, which is what he's been doing in previous games. He just kind of chills in the middle, lets the Armageddon do the work for him, which is smart because if you're in a strong position and you're not losing, you don't really have anything to lose by letting the RNG give you free tempo. Because
True.
worst case scenario, you just draw, right? So, I mean, that's kind of the the situation here. I think Nev is very aware that DX's aggressive lines. He's going for a lob here. Oh, okay. I thought he was. Thought he was going.
That would have been crazy.
I was like, what the hell? Because he knows DX has. I mean, he must at least suspect DX is Mega Bowler here, right? I would suspect it, and I think that's why he spaced his minions out so hard. But that's interesting that he put himself there before treeing, because DX can pocket sand here, and he could hit. I mean, yeah, I think DX is salivating at this. I think he knows that pocket sand is huge, or he could also Mega Boulder too, and it's almost unmissable. There we
There's a
go.
Mega Boulder. Boom! Boom!
Yeah,
Boom!
yep.
Oh!
That's exactly what, as soon as Nev ended his turn there, I was thinking DX is gonna Mega Boulder him.
84 HP, more lost. Second Mega Boulder still in the tank. Nev now down to 101. He's running. He's retreated. He's backed up, tucked himself into a nice little corner, and he does not have much to show for all the work after he's gated out and kind of turtled off into the left side. All he ended up really doing is taking more chip there. He's now at a lethal range. He can die to a critical hit Mega Boulder. He can die to Death Knight, although that's not really a threat at the moment. And yeah, he's just getting himself towered up. And not for nothing, towering in this position is not progress, right?
Yeah, no, he's looking here to make himself a little hole and then get his health up. I mean, that's really the only, because DX is down to 1 Mega Boulder. But the fact that he's at 101 health, it means DX can actually kill him with a Mega Boulder Suicide. Either with BFTP to have no risk, or if he's out of BFTPs, he can still do 101 damage with it. And yeah, here we go. This is the other part I said he was trying to solve, is trying to get his DK back with the Armageddon. He saw the Armageddon is coming down, so he freed up the space for the peg. It's exactly as I said it was going to be. That's the two things that he likes doing. He likes taking the center, getting an early DK out, and letting the Armageddon just carve a path for him. And then he's going to look to probably border hop, eventually, and get the DK in to start getting active. So that's just something that Nev is. There's no way Nev is not thinking that every single second of this turn.
Sure.
It's coming.
100%.
He's smart enough.
It's coming.
So he knows. There's some people that, and I think DX has played against in this tournament, where they don't see the border hop coming. Maybe they just forgot about it because it's just so easy to forget when so many things are going on. But there's no way Nev doesn't. Oh, he's gonna get pelted with that Armageddon too. That Armageddon is they're both aimed directly at him.
And Pegasus in to save the day, flying out the Death Knight to safety here. But yes, the Arma directly above Nev. Definitely, you have to wonder if he's willing to expend a resource, right? At a time like this, is he going to pop a minion above? Well, I don't think he can reach from the tower, to be honest, but you can look to maybe place a living seed because I believe it is off cooldown. There's a couple of things he can do um, to block this Armageddon. Living Seed is a common option in something like this if he wants to.
One of the things that I find interesting that I haven't seen anybody really do against DX yet, because in the games I've watched, this position right here, DX is at the top of the map. This happens so frequently. He's so good at getting a small lead and then converting it into mid-map pressure. I'm surprised nobody's been taking any aerials against him, like Deluge or Skyray or anything like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was looking at the position. I was like, dang, Deluge would be so good. But
It
I
just
think one of the reasons for that is because most players are naturally inclined to position themselves out of the usefulness of these kind of spells due to Skyray naturally plummeting the map, right? So a lot of times players are not that interested in taking spells that um, are redundant to the Armageddon. However, I'm not too sure about the wisdom of that because a lot of time the terrain will block one Skyray, but it obviously wouldn't be able to block a second in that same position.
yeah, and there's a lot of metagaming in our game,
Hmm.
of course, and that's
Yeah,
where I would have been like, if I'm Nev, I'm thinking, you know, if you're just trying to go tit for tat with DX, it's very likely he's going to get some advantage on you and start pressuring you mid map. One of the ways to get back into the game is to go side and have aerials to stop him from pressuring the middle of
agreed.
the map. And
Agreed.
I would that's kind of where my mind would go. Oh, that's a great steal from him.
Ooh, huge. I think DX will probably still look to double drain here, but obviously he's not going to be getting the full value of the HP. And also, can even I mean, I'm sure it's possible. Maybe he wants to micro his own character so that he can give the Death Knight a better angle at this Drain Bolt, so that if he stands on top of his own character to get a better angle, or maybe he's just gonna lob it so that it lands inside. Nope, yep, never mind. DX has aim. He says, "Boy, you know who I am. I'm not missing this."
That Pegasus is dead to Armageddon as well. DX's. Oh, they,
Sorry.
they want you to say Dark Knight. And you know what, man? I'm not even gonna.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna nitpick about it because it is a Death Knight, bro. Like, come on.
instead of Death Knight, Dark Knight, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a,
yeah, Dark Knight or DK. That's what I'm
I
so
say
used.
DK about half the time, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You're all right, man.
Appreciate you.
Um,
Okay, just a little terrain destruction. There goes the Pegasus.
and here we go. This
Here
is
it goes.
DX is getting in his wheelhouse here.
No way he gets the DK up there.
I will tell you this. That is what everyone so far has said about him, and they've lost to him. No way he's getting DK over to me. No way. And then he finds a way, and then he kills you.
But not on this turn, he's not. No shot.
Not on this turn.
Not. But listen, incremental progress is the name of the game. Okay, now I'm a little bit more inclined to think that there's some motion going on with that drone in play. Nev's tunnel is nearly complete. The question is, does he have time? DK at 135 HP. No Pegasus alive anywhere on the map, although drones everywhere as standstill. Excuse me, not drones, swarms rather. There is a drone on the map, but the swarms were what I was referring to. And a seed pops up. It's going to isolate DX. He's not going to want to flash this one either. I mean, putting himself in that kind of exposed position as Nev is coming through the tunnel on the right side is opening himself up to a little bit of a counterattack while Nev's tower is still alive. So I'm not too sure DX will look for that kind of line. Although maybe he will. I mean, in terms of HP, he's got a tremendous lead. Yeah, I think he's just like, you know what? I will meet you on this ground because yeah, DX is at full health. Nev has taken quite a few hits. Now, the one thing to note is that a huge advantage of Totem is that its terrain destruction activates at the beginning of your turn, which means that you have movement tempo to take advantage of this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why this Armageddon is so interesting to play around, because it just straight up gives you tempo. If the Armageddon happens on your turn, it's like you're getting a totem proc if it's clearing
Right.
land. If it's happening, so you have to play around the turn order of the Armageddon. You can't just ignore it. Otherwise, someone like DX or Nev even they'll take advantage of that by planning around it to get tempo on you. But of course, at this point, these guys have made it to the finals. They're very well aware of it. I'm extremely interested into what's going
I
on in Nev's
I
brain
was
right now.
going to ask you how we were just talking about letting the totem do it for you, open up the position on your turn so you're not
that
exposed when you break through the map gen, and instead we just see Nev open up the map
that was that
for
was
DX.
gangster. That was gangster.
it was
He said,
it
I
was
don't
kind of
care. I'm
badass.
right.
Like,
I'm right here. What are you gonna do about it?
yeah,
Kill. He said, kill my
like,
swarms. I don't care.
yeah, like, oh, okay, so DX is more than happy to take his time picking up the minions, and the totem is here. What this totem is doing, a little beyond me. Um, at this point, because what the totem was supposed to be doing, it does not appear to currently be doing.
Yeah, that's that was an Oa move right there. I said, let's go. Let's just fight this. Oh, is he gonna?
You couldn't double drain bolt it, maybe. I mean, I
He's a
think
yeah.
he.
He's
I
a,
mean,
he's
not
in
drain
lethal
bolt it.
range.
No,
So,
star bolt it. Yeah, but
oh
yes,
yeah, you could spear it and get a spear, spear the the drone, I should say. That's um as
yeah.
well.
I was gonna say I don't think he. I think he uses a different spell. Okay, he wants to keep the minion occupied, but he cut off his retreat path this way, right? Like, isn't this okay? Cutting off the retreat path was good because DX has a swarm here, and that swarm is very relevant because Nev's HP is very relevant.
Yeah, Dix is gonna have to BFTP here, otherwise Nev can get a massive drain off. But again, Nev is in. He's on death's door right now. Like, DX could even Mega Boulder him through the tower. I mean, it's risky, but it will hit through the tower if he lands it correctly. So
Ice shield. You're locked in here with me, drone.
pretty much. You see how this is how like dynamic this game has been. The two player, they're playing very very uh with purpose, I should say.
Yeah.
Like they're going for the win. They're seizing opportunities that they find.
And it looks like Nev had the pinpoint read to realize that DX was just not quite ready to go on the offensive. Because you can see here that DX has actually made a defensive play. And it's so defensive that he locked himself in with a drone, right? Like, and the Death Knight is not yet ready to play. It's not able to get into the action. Okay. He does fall. But is this where he was meant to be? Hard to say.
No, so what had happened there is he was trying to just do an F wiggle move, one of the moves the machine does, but you can't actually tell which way the totem is facing. So because of it's symmetrical. So on the first one he went left and he actually dropped it. And on the second one, he just dropped it. Like he was definitely trying to get over to the right side, I believe.
Okay. And this is what we were a little bit worried about. If I recall correctly, outside of the tower, we're at 101 HP.
Is he looking to border hop here, free himself as well as get the DK over?
That'd be crazy. Now that the tree has expired from its HP. 17 seconds.
It's very close.
Yeah, but I think the time is gone. I think DX is going to have to look for a
Yep.
backup play if that was his angle. BFTP and possibly, how does he kill the drone?
Just gonna mud. Oh, it
Pocket
was
sand. Okay.
pocket sand. That was an aggressive pocket sand. He was looking to also detower Nev, and it was very close. That cost him a lot there because he's gonna get retrapped again.
Yeah, Mudball also available to trap DX here.
Yeah, and that does confirm it too. That he is using his book that he's used the whole time, I believe. I don't think he's made a change because there's the pocket sand. But yeah, Mudball is potentially risky because it might give the DK a ledge to climb onto. Because right now he wasn't able to get the swarm to move it over.
The real question that I think is a little left unanswered here, though, is how does Nev win from here? Because Nev is not playing for a draw.
My guess. Oh, that was good. See how
That
it didn't give him any
was
more ledge.
that was
Underneath.
such a shot. It was
Yeah, that was great.
It was a crazy shot.
So Nev, if he has the, I mean, he has spear. He might have mega boulder as well, right? So, if he, I mean, spear and mega boulder is more than enough to win. And I mean, he still has spells to reveal out of his book. And Nev is also, he's the type of person that won't reveal something until it beats you, too. So it could be, he could have a surprise in store as well.
Yes, but it's not just the fact that he needs the damage. It's the opportunity cost as well. It's worth mentioning that Mudball was the first time DX took damage so far in this series.
True.
And so, progress has officially been made. We also now get to touch him at the Swarm, although that's on a tower and not the same kind of progress. But Nev is showing that he has some bite in him, able to put some damage down on DX, because ever since he got tapped by that Mega Boulder, I mean, it's crazy to think about it, right? But Nev's only been hit twice, right? One from a DK charge and one from a Mega Boulder. These are just really big hits. But it's not exactly like Nev has left himself out to just take general chip damage or attacks throughout the series, right? It was just that DX lined up two really, really nice attacks by finding excellent positional opportunities. It is not impossible that Nev can negotiate his way back into the fight and find an aggressive position if he's able to, make something work out, mount something up, and find a weakness. But
and it's not lost on me either that Deluge there was also really good. Great pocket sand. Oh my god, what a spell, dude.
Pocket sand.
What a spell. That's so crazy. That spell is so nasty, man. And people complain about Jingle Boom. That's crazy to me. It just did 100 damage. Basically spanning half of the map. And it hits through tower. Wow. Crazy. Nev is in he's in a pickle. That pocket sand was just, it hit him right in the chest, and he definitely felt it.
Yeah. Now, this is the part where Nev has to be really careful, right? Because at any given moment, DX could just do the simplest of plays, like stun his own, like he can maybe like blast it a pass over that cliff, so that he can just jump over cleanly, then, use his drone to like tag the Death Knight and then use it to just jump over and then just end the match, right? Like, he's just, any combination of offensive plays just ends the match. Oh, never mind. He doesn't even have to tag his own Death Knight. He can actually just fly over, tag Nev, which is even better, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then possibly just get there himself. And if he's clean enough with a jump, right, he doesn't even have to blast the past the lip. He could maybe even save something like that to blast the past his opponent for damage, right? Like, it's just so much he can do here. And Nev is just so low in HP.
It's hard to... Oh, there we go. There's the border hop. Oh, he's going to get hit by his own Armageddon here, though.
Yeah, this is not what I was expecting. Okay, Mud Bomb. Arma comes down.
I mean, he's... Nev is... I mean, he's in lethal here with double swarm plus BFTP plus DK, so he's got to be careful. I think he knows that though.
The Dark Knight, the Death Knight, the Doom Knight is about to try and get active very, very soon.
The Doom Knight. I love it. Yeah, it's been just looming over Nev. He's afraid to look at it because he just hopes it goes away because it's just
Leave me alone, ugly.
Yeah, 100%. Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yo! No! Stop!
No! That was... Well, we're going to be hearing about that one for years to come.
Oh my gosh. And just like that, an utterly commanding position.
Oh my god. Haters will say it's scripted. This is... That's... Well, I believe... I don't want to say it, because I don't want him to go for it, but I believe he can...
There's some new options available to us, let's put it that way.
Yeah, pretty much. That was crazy that just happened, though.
That was insane. Bro, it actually sunk him. That is some new level of tragedy. Alright. Nev now has found himself, after taking a couple of blows to the chest, he even is unable to get this drone out without tagging himself there, but that's tower HP. He'll be forgiven. But after a couple of blows to the chest, finds himself with another ability to gasp at a breath of air. He is still down by a tremendous amount of HP. A tower has holding 20 for him. Starbolt peppering, getting rid of the drone very wise too, and seeing the Armageddon. There are no reinforcements on this side of the map for DX for that DK. So he gets rid of his drone here so that he can use it to jump. Okay.
Well, also, that drone's not doing anything, so he wasn't dead anyway. So that was just like...
So he can summon a new minion. Very good.
That's just a tempo play. A good old-fashioned tempo play.
What is he looking for here, right?
This is a tough jump, is he... Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, that. Like, that's an insane jump. Like, even if you make the jump. Okay.
Oh, he's looking for...
Oh, the fairy jump! Turn 2 fairy jump! Nev sitting on 84! No way. What does he have here? There's no way he's dead.
He has Mega Boulder.
He has a Mega Boulder, but... Is he landing this Mega Boulder? No. It's not getting through. 6 seconds on the clock. Is he gonna lob it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He tosses it. Boom!
There we go.
Boom! Hey-yo! DX takes game 1.
Wow.
What a clean Mega Boulder there at the end, too.
That was very clean. You know, that was awesome. You know how his brain was working overdrive there. At first, he wanted to get over because he wanted to make that play over the top of the map, and then he was like, "That's not gonna work." And then he found that one line there to get in. That's very, very well played by DX.
Oh my gosh. That is game 1 there. I am extremely interested to see what kind of adjustments Nev is going to make. 10 minutes? Okay, no worries. 10 minutes before we go into game 2. But, I mean, and that's exactly what you were talking about, you know, in the mid-game there, Oa, that DX has this incredibly precise level of gameplay. It's like, he saw it. He was like, Mega Boulder from here kills, don't need the DK. I've got the fairy jump. I've got the access. And he just lines up the shot. 6 seconds on the clock. And he's Larry Bird. It's like, what are we doing? Like, he's like, there's more than enough time. So
yeah, he's thinking like a rusher, man. He's looking for that. He's looking for that opportunity to get in. It's very, very nice.
Absolutely.
Nev, I don't think Nev saw it either because I don't know if he had Pegasus or not. He didn't summon a single Pegasus that whole match. I don't think he did have one.
No, I think he summoned. No. Actually, wait. Are you right? Did he not summon one? Wasn't there a
He
point
just
where
stole. He
no,
just stole
he
Pegasus.
stole the Pegasus. Yeah, he
Yeah,
stole the Pegasus. That's right. That's right.
that's
Yeah, I did not see a Pegasus come from
It
there.
is
But
tough because DX's book has the luxury of playing. I mean, it's a very aggressive book, right? Like it's extreme. I wouldn't classify it as a rush book, but it's very aggressive. It's an aggro book for sure. Like, yeah, Pocket Sand and Mega Boulder are both
now,
extremely aggressive spells.
one thing that I was noticing, right, is you're talking about being aggressive and playing aggro, right? And one of the biggest weaknesses to aggressive types of gameplay in Arcanus is that due to the ability to create space and due to the opportunity cost of breaking through that space to launch attacks against your opponent, um, a lot of times this creates very stalemate situations. And we saw that even in this very match where we could say DX had a commanding lead until he got knocked into the water, was that um, even when you get a small advantage, your opponent can buy time. They can gate across the map where the map is divided by terrain. They can create terrain. They can put minions in the way. There's just so many ways to buy space in Arcanus. But I just felt that Nev was lacking HP recovery options. And so it meant that every time DX got a major hit on him, it stuck, And I think this cost him a lot in this particular match because if you're going to talk about spells like DK, if you're going to talk about spells like Mega Boulder, one of the biggest weaknesses of these spells is their limited ammunition. You got 2 charges of Mega Boulder, you got 1 charge of DK. So you're out of that, and then all of a sudden, you become very hard to kill. Take the um, once you have already managed to weather the initial onslaught of all the strongest stuff, what's remaining is often not enough to get through stall if you have a consistent source of healing. But I noticed Nev's book seemed void um what is the shield? The help me out. What's
Frost
the
Shield? Frost
yes,
Shield?
protection shield. Thank you. Protection shield. I didn't see Drain Bolt coming out to any great effect from Nev in that particular game. Um, it's just, there was just I'm not saying necessarily that Nev's book was bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that in this particular match, the big threats against Nev were able to all be used and stick. Let's look at what Nev got hit there during that game, right? He got hit by. Oh, perfect. I appreciate it. Yeah, and you know what? That's perfect. Now that you have it up on the stream, you can see here what did DX actually land. Right? He landed a charge from the DK. Then he landed um, a precise but not full damage Mega Boulder.
Yeah. What I was gonna say, Pierce,
Go for it.
you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. So like when if Nev had Pegasus or aim to any healing spell, that's a completely different ball game, right? But that kind of leads me to think like when he mudballed the drone. If I don't know what Nev, because Nev had 4 spells he didn't. Oh, the spec started. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That
yeah.
was only
We're
10
we're in the game.
minutes.
We're in the game. But keep going.
No, yeah. So, I'm surprised if his book was more aggressive because you typically, if you're not taking recovery, you're really aggressive.
Right.
Um, you would think that he would just have freed himself from that Pegasus trap immediately, right? Because he
Right.
wanted, but he didn't. So I'm very interested what spells he didn't cast. Because yeah, and he was foregoing healing, and that's it makes. It makes it very difficult to win these games if you're foregoing healing and you're also not damaging them.
Yeah.
So like, cause you have to be able to have some kind of like, Ex Machina type play of like an ice bomb or something to equalize if you don't have healing, or Mega Boulder. Oh, is he looking at Pocket Sand here? Probably. And he's just gonna take a flash. Okay, well he saved the
Incredible.
health. He saved the health.
He killed the drone and did 49 damage.
Yeah, that spell is extremely good. The thing is like, it's good, but he also makes it look really good too because he's using it so aggressively.
I don't see how you use this spell not aggressively and
Oh
claim to
yeah,
and claim to be using it correctly.
No, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, like,
Like,
right there
what?
is like he leaped or leapt, I should say. He leapt
Very,
through,
yeah,
and he isolated himself just so he can get the pocket sand off. Some people they might not even do that. They might just wait for a chance to use it, without going out of their way. But yeah, he's like, oh look, I see a combo, I'm gonna do it because it's just a huge tempo play. Now
yeah. It's insane tempo.
he can drain him off here if he wants to, which would be very good. Or yeah, I mean he's debating. There are a couple of good options there. Okay, that's not a bad play. He's controlling the center here, but he definitely should have. I mean, I don't see how he wouldn't have drain, but that is a risky drain though if he's afraid of missing it, right? And this is the last game. But there's just no way that he doesn't. There's just no way that he doesn't have drain in his book. So, but that was a fairly standard drain sync with the AOE from drain to knock DX up.
Yeah, I think that
Okay, the shoe's on
it's
the other foot here. Nev said,
yeah.
"I'm taking the center this game."
So Nev getting the center there is quite good, but I guess what I'm looking for is like where is Nev's development? Where is his progress towards winning the game? He lost the tempo on his minion summon, and what did he? And he also lost 49 HP. So the advantage in terms of tempo is neutralized. The X didn't necessarily. The X didn't gain position when he hit the pocket send. He took out the enemy minion, right? He took out Nev's minion, and he hit Nev, but he actually sacrificed position to do this, and he sacrificed a fairy jump M. So the question is like, how does Nev then retaliate against this? What did Nev gain for the loss of 49 HP? And the answer is he controlled center by deploying prickly barrier. And I just have to wonder if that's a significant enough tempo is to say, okay, well, DX will stay over there, and that's what I've gained for my turn in order to equalize the situation, right? Because one like 20% of your health is not an insignificant cost. You
So
know,
if Nev had the so he was, I think the prickly barrier was because he was about to Q.
yeah,
Um
maybe.
and but like he really wanted to knock DX off risk free, but the problem is he'd have to burn a BFTP or a leap for it. And he just didn't want to do it, and I completely understand that. So
I do too.
he was going back and forth, trying to decide if he wants to use his BFTP or not. But just knocking him off to get, and then Nev is also trapped left side too. If he does that, it's not very good. And I think he knew that probably wouldn't work. Um, yeah, so because if you're summoning the minion, knowing he has pocket sand, right, you have to summon it in a spot where you can either bait them into using pocket sand, like for example, I would do that if I had shock bomb in my book or something to knock him off immediately and punish him for using pocket sand. Or you want to use it in a spot that you can't use pocket sand, or can't use pocket sand, obviously, like summoning it underneath the cloud when you're on top of it. But yeah, not having a plan for if DX uses pocket sand there is definitely pretty rough.
But do you think even DX could have taken back any position into the center? Like, how does he even get up from there?
No, I mean it depends too. If he, I don't know if he has totem or not. He hasn't showed that.
But he
His
didn't. Wait,
that
he didn't have a totem active on that turn, right?
no. Yeah, not that. Yeah, what I'm saying is, are you saying you're saying turn two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, how does DX re-access the ability to? Because what I'm saying
Oh
is
no,
like,
he can't. He has to summon a minion.
yeah,
So
exactly. That's exactly my point. He had to summon a minion, and so it's like Nev gets a prickly barrier, which is a
yeah,
temporary
right.
like,
Yeah.
and DX got his minion, right? Like,
No, I agree. I agree with you. I think that's why I think it was just a panic play. It
right,
was
right.
that RQ. That was kind of what it looked like for me because I think he did it like 7 seconds left or something.
Yeah, yeah.
If he's
And
playing with one of the things too is if you're playing with sounds on, there's a clicking, like a talk or clock ticking. Once you get to like 5 seconds, I tell you, it makes you panic when you start hearing it. You're like, oh, I'm about to queue, and you start doing stuff even though you have 5 seconds to think. But yeah, I don't, because DX's book normally doesn't take totem here, so getting back to the center is gonna be really hard for him. He's gonna have to do a big border hop or jump his minions over.
Well, DX
Which,
has drone, so he can get there. But I think in order if Nev wants to win the match, right, he's going to have to make sure that he's more precise in how he's spending his turns. You know, you've got 60 turns to kill your opponent and avoid getting killed. And if you're using one of them, and if your opponent is gaining more than you're gaining on 2 turns
oh
in a row,
my,
you have a problem. I loved it. I loved it.
that's awesome. I love that. I love that for him.
Because I don't see how DX is hitting a Mega Boulder in return or anything
Oh
nearly
no, he's
as effective.
absolutely not.
Right, like I think it was just a great line of attack, understanding position. It was beautiful from Nev, and that's what I like to see. Like, how are you spending your turns? He earned himself a solid hit on DX, a very very solid
He's
hit.
starting the train here. He's starting the train, right? Mega bouldering there is basically saying I plan to kill you with damage. That's the only reason you'd mega boulder there. Now he didn't. He had about a 66% effective mega boulder there. He's missing out on 42 damage. But the reason why is because he did it horizontally, which there's less risk if you do it horizontally because it's easier to land. Um, because the slope of the target is I should say it's less steep. But the way the mega boulder works is if you come in at a steep angle, it has less like horizontal momentum or whatever. It flips its momentum on every single its horizontal momentum on every single bounce. So if it
Right.
comes in at a steep angle, there's less motion for it. So that's why you wanna launch it high in the air, but that is risky because it comes down at a steeper angle. It means you have more miss room, or less miss room, I should say. But he could also mega boulder here again. This
I
is
was considering it, but this is a difficult shot and at a big cost. Is his last Mega Boulder ammo?
oh, is
Does
he
he
looking to
have?
is he looking to suicide this? If he could sink him with a mega boulder here,
Okay.
oh
Oh no!
no
Oh,
no, that's no.
that is not what you want to see.
Oh, that is just so tragic. That was
All the way to the right side.
wow. Yeah, that was not a difficult fairy jump. He just panicked because he thought he could get the jump in the last second, which he could. He could get that jump, but he didn't want to border hop, so he was afraid. Um, but I'm wondering what his plan was, because he can't just mega boulder that when he gets close, because it's risky. You'd have to suicide it, but if DX will just respond with the mega boulder if he does that, so it'd have to sink him. But you can't really do that with a mega boulder suicide. You're not going to sink him with it. So I'm curious what his plan was.
Yeah, we'll never know unless
He
we
might he
ask him
might
at
have.
this point.
I like to believe he has ice bomb. I've been predicting that with every single person. I'm the only person who's brought ice bomb, and it's sucked every time. So I don't recommend it. But
Well, DX now has utter control over its center. Nev has no influence on the map. His minions are gone. We once again see Clock Tower here, which I have a love-hate relationship with Clock Tower in this spot. The things I love about Clock Tower in this spot, one, it breaks terrain. And you need every little bit of terrain you have pushing into the side of the map here. So that's good. I also like the fact that any enduring HP from the Clock Tower is probably going to last because Nev is not going to be looking to regain center anytime soon. Right? So, like, even just blocking the swarm damage is fine. It's like completely fine. You know, it's like you can take 5 swarm ticks, and if that's all the HP that it gets you, it's good enough. Right? What I don't like is that it doesn't make any progress. You know, and I'm constantly looking to make sure that if you're ever going to recover into the game, you need to do moves that make progress. I don't necessarily feel, but then again, it's as I said, the terrain damage of the clock tower is the tiniest bit of progress. So it's fine there. I'm just wondering, is his most progressive move Clock Tower? But
so
we can see.
one of the things I would say that he clock towered for, and I think you're right. It does buy space, but also where he TP'd, and because he had a TP, DX actually had the ability to elevator himself down on the right side of the map with his drone. and just resync Nev if he doesn't block off the side, or
Right.
so he would just get sunk again, and that would just probably be game, depending on how he does it with the drone active in the middle of the map and DK on the left side. So that I think that's probably where his mind was going.
Now, we see he summons a drone here, and the drone can be very useful because he's got to get rid of these swarms, and I think DX will not put the swarms in a way that the drone can kill both of them. I think he's willing to sacrifice one of them in order to get a tempo. I don't think he just lets the drone fly and shoot them both, right? Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised he didn't summon a totem instead of the drone, but
That's a good tree, but he, I believe, can kill both. I'm pretty sure he can kill. Well, I don't know if his drone actually can get up. Now that I think about it, from that side of the cloud, he might be able to actually still kill both drones, but I can't tell. With the way that drone strike works, if he goes top side first, then bottom side. Uh, huh.
okay.
I'm a bit confused what the BFTP was for.
Well, how is his drone getting out otherwise?
Was it?
Wasn't it trapped in there with Nev? It was
I didn't
completely.
think it was, but it might have been. I wasn't paying attention before he. Maybe it was, but he can.
Wait, is the drone too fat where the swarm is not? When do you
Yeah.
see? That's crazy. Oh no, and
Oh,
not
that's
a.
tough. Did he not
Oh,
go
he
for top
he
side
he
here
was gonna
first?
queue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh,
just a little chunky. Well,
what the heck? Oh no, and it's
yeah.
like
Yep.
it's like
Here
he's
it
getting
comes.
mind controlled into like creating the extra space that DX needs too, because now whose drone can fit through? I can tell you something right now. There's no way Nev is gonna be happy about like reviewing these games later, right?
Oh, probably not, but
Like
he lost to. There's no shame in losing to the
no,
number one best
listen.
player.
I 1000% agree with that. There's no way anybody could ever say it was
Wow, you
shameful to
see,
lose
that
to
was
DX.
just absolutely masterfully done. You notice how he,
Yeah.
he put all the pieces in play there? That was very, very well done. But it's not going to kill Nev. Not from that position.
Not and he's out of time. Oh,
It actually didn't do that much damage. It did 63?
but I'm also not convinced Nev can hit it for 100.
No.
So it's
No,
like congratulations on
Ooh,
not doing that much damage. Beautiful, beautiful,
decent,
beautiful.
decent, decent, yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Now he's got to choose his. I think he really only has 2 spots he can go.
Yeah, but
I
I
guess
mean, like, where are you going that you're not getting mega bouldered, right? Like
it's either
bottom
bottom
left.
mid, bottom left, or bottom mid are the only 2 spots I can see. Because he's gonna lose a third of his health here. He's gonna go down to like 80 something, 91.
Okay.
Oh well, this yeah. I think DX sees it. He's just gonna go for it here. Oh, maybe not.
Okay.
I
This
mean, I
one.
believe DX is going for a kill here. So
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure he's gonna go for it.
yeah,
But I think he's just tapping him before he goes for his kill.
he
I'm
is.
surprised he
Yeah,
didn't leave the swarm down there to like give him an easier access. You know. Oh, he has a second swarm. He's gonna. No.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that. Okay, I actually don't like this, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't think the 15 damage from this swarm is worth the time it takes.
I think that he actually just had to kill with stuffing the Mega Boulder into the terrain, but I don't think he wanted to risk it, which I understand because he's at 120. If it doesn't kill, he dies. Yeah.
Oh,
If Nev can
or
get out,
stack too.
if Nev can get out somehow, we have a. Yeah, true. If he has flight,
Reveal flight into Mega Boulder KO will be crazy.
I mean,
Okay, reveal Fairy Jump into Mega Boulder KO. BFTP here, Fairy Jump up. Those are like DX is at 120. I'm surprised that we didn't use the second um drone to block the space to not let Nev jump off this cliff. Right? Giving him all this movement options seemed a little unnecessary.
looks like he's just gonna try and tower here.
Oh, nice try.
Oh, he's going for something.
Okay.
Oh
But wait,
no.
isn't that the wrong order? Shouldn't he have BFTP'd first, then jumped in, then Fairy jumped out the other way?
It can work either way.
I guess. Nice try. Nice try.
You know what? I respect it.
Nice try. Nice try.
Nice try. Nice try.
That is GG's. So DX will take it 2-0 over Nev. And he will now reign as the season 27 champion. But absolutely a great match to follow. Man,
Man, that was.
I gotta say, it's like okay. Here's the thing. I'm just gonna get off my chest, and it's leading into the point that I was talking about before. There is never any shame to losing to DX. I don't think a single person could argue that DX did not play spectacularly. But I think I must respect Nev by saying that I do not believe Nev played to his greatest performance. You know, I think that there were so many like little mistakes, maybe some of which I called unlucky situations, and just an overall expectation of what would come out for Nev. I don't think we got to see what Nev is capable of in this set, and I think that Nev is probably a little disappointed in himself of like how he demonstrated his potential in this match. There is a reason why we spoke so highly of Nev going into this. Nev is our season 26 champion,
Oh,
right?
he'll be back. Nev
Yeah,
will be back.
he will. He will 1000% be back.
He'll be back next tournament. He'll be back. I guarantee it. He's
And it has to be so disappointing for him, you know, not to lose, but to perform this way.
Is he actually here for an interview?
Beautiful. Nice. DX, congratulations on your victory over Nev 2-0. How you feeling, brother? Welcome in.
I feel good. I was getting a phone call at the end of game one, which was kind of throwing me off. But that's why I had to take a little break. But it was a good series. I mean, yeah, really kept me on my toes.
Yeah, I mean, your opponent was Nev, and he's definitely no slouch at all. Somebody you have a lot of experience facing. I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind, and I'm sure Oa has some as well. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you about is your book in general. Oa informed me that you used the same book for pretty much every match throughout the entire tournament. Is that true? Now that the tournament's over, I'm going to ask if that's true. And also, is there a reason that you felt that this book was like? What did you feel were the reasons why this book was going to be so consistent against every single opponent in every match?
That is true, and this is a book I made for 60 Grassy. And when I make books for 60 Grassy, I try to create books that can be like face anything. I felt that this book in particular would work on skies as well. So that would carry over where ideally against aggro, control, whatever, it actually works out maybe even a little better because you don't need totem because you have Skyray Arma to clear land at times. So maybe it's even a little stronger on Sky Castles compared to Grassy. But I already knew the book. I played it like a year ago. So it was just a comfort pick. And I didn't really spend any time this tournament thinking about books. I just used this.
Okay. And actually, I'm actually really glad you said that because that actually leads directly into my next question. Because you said you made this book a year ago, but I think that a lot of people were observing the strength of Pocket Sand in particular, which is one of the newer spells. Um, so this question is kind of in two parts. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you think about Pocket Sand in particular as a spell? I noticed that most of your competition is not considering it to be the staple, even in their own books, although they're calling it overpowered, uh, whereas you are actually bringing it, right? Can you tell me about why you think Pocket Sand isn't as popular as people are claiming it to be in terms of strength? Why you brought it, and how you see Pocket Sand entering into a more prominent position in the meta moving forward, or do you think it's going to stay obscure?
Well, look, it's one of those damage spells. It only does 50 damage, but it's really meant to tackle your opponent's like setup,
Mm,
um, and especially the early setup is really when you'd use it the most. But I think a lot of people think in terms of higher damage spells, maybe, and that's why they might not consider it. But the whole idea is, um, when it does come in handy, I had I think one match against Machine, I hit four like 4 units, including himself, and I did like 200 damage,
mm.
and that just kind of really helped me win that game. So, I think, look, if you get a good pocket sand, that's you can get like 150, 200 damage. That's a lot of value. Um, and it's more value than. But now I will say you have to like practice it a little bit, be comfortable with it. It gets a little getting used to. But yeah, I think it's underrated.
All right. Oh, I do have more questions, but I don't want to hog, all of DX's mind. Did you have any questions for Moa?
Yeah. First, congratulations, man. I think you played really well every single time. Every single game I saw you and you dominated. Wasn't really close. If I'm being honest. You every single game you. I mean, I would classify. I don't really. I played against. I played against you a lot, and I've never played against you where you're able to really get out and get to the mid game. I try and stop that as much as possible. I would classify the way that you've been playing the last few games as highly aggressive. Just how you play, like, and I don't know, maybe that's just a side of your gameplay I haven't really seen before, but I'm definitely liking it because that's every game that I've seen. You see a small opening and you go on it, which is exactly the type of gameplay that I'm used to, and so it's nice seeing that. Uh, Come out even in the finals. You have a play like a highly mechanical play like that DK ladder at the end, and you just execute. You don't really think about it, and I like to see that. It's very exciting. So I think you played very well this whole tournament, and I think that this final you did really well. So congratulations. Um, that being said, Pocket Sand is cracked on this map. I don't know if I don't know I don't know about Grassy, but on this map in particular, it is cracked because of how vertical you end up getting, right? Like you are frequently above your opponent to where you can easily get pocket sands to trickle down and get multiple kills and stuff like that. Um, did you think that in this particular matchup, were you scared that Nev was going to bring something out of like left field? As he's done in the past, like something like a counter book, like maybe a rush book or something.
Um, the thing is, like this book has three ways to deal with rush, right? You have ice shield leap, you have mud, and you have tree. So if anyone plays like extremely aggro, you do have more tools in this book compared to like a generic book to deal with any sort of rush. So I'm not really worried about that. The I guess the one thing to worry about would have been a really well played control book with maybe a portal or like wormhole or totem. But I think Machine brought that out in one game, but um I think he misplayed a few times. But I think that might be this book's weakness on Sky Castles. And thankfully Nev didn't use any of that. I don't know. Last game it seemed like he just took the same book. I
Yeah.
wasn't really
It did
looking
seem
at
that way.
like, all the spells, but when I think about it, oh, maybe he had snare. I'm not sure if he brought snare game two. Um,
So I'm curious if he brought like another damage spell because when he failed that leap and he border bounced off, I have no idea what his plan was. I don't think there's really a world in which he's planning on Mega Boulder suiciding you to knock you off. There's too many angles where they just fails and then he automatically loses. So I'm curious as to what his plan was. I think he was sandbagging some damage spells, but they never got the opportunity to use them because of the space that you created, or the space that he lost when he fell off the map. I did notice in the games that I watched you play, you frequently love, on this map at least, summoning the DK at the top of the map, where you can get to any spot in the bottom of in the center by just on the clouds, or you can border hop on the side, and it just exerts so much pressure. Um, I'm surprised. Do you never have any fear that somebody just has an area, like someone brings deluge or something like that, knowing that you like to do that, that you have a tendency to do that?
No, I love putting the myself and the Dark Knight on top because then either one of us can border hop, and then the other one can kind of go in and do something.
Mm,
Um,
Gotcha.
I think that's like huge. Also, if you have like a drone or a swarm, after you border hop, you free all of them. So it's really a type of play you can't do much on grassy when you think about it because
mm,
you don't really have that top land on grassy to border hop like that. So this is a unique macro strategy to sky castles that just
mm.
works. And no, I'm not really worried about aerials per se. If I see them, like then that's just a one-time thing.
Right.
But as long as you keep yourself out of kill range, which is like 100, 120 HP, you can eat an aerial and probably be okay.
Right on. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only questions I had going through. It was a really methodical win. And like I said, I think you played very well and very well deserved win. And congrats.
Okay. So, a quick lowball question for you. In that last match, right when the match ended, right, and the match ended on Nev's turn because he killed himself with a Mega Bolter. But one angle I was looking at there was a blast from the past into Fairy Jump, which would have given him an angle to Mega Boulder and kill you. And I was also commenting that you didn't leave your swarms in a way to stop Nev from moving off that island. Did you not perceive yourself in danger from a counterattack from Nev in that position?
I think that last play was a little sloppy on my end with the swarm stacking him. I actually tunnel vision and I didn't even notice the island to the left to jump on. Um, I just sometimes you tunnel vision when the game's about to be won,
Hmm, hmm.
and I have like some other things going on in the background, so it was just a little tunnel vision on that. But then I wasn't too worried about dying to Mega Boulder at 120, maybe at like 115. But I think to die to Mega at 120, you need to be maybe in some land or like something like that. I feel like I could have probably lived with maybe like 0, maybe like 1 to 10 HP,
Right.
and then that would be lethal for him, right? But, yeah,
You
I
don't think
wasn't
you could have killed him on that turn?
yeah, even if he had a clean Mega.
No, do you think you could have killed him on the turn that you double tapped him with swarms? Because I thought you were going to tap him with one swarm and then use the remaining time to kill him. But going for both swarms, you didn't have enough time.
Yeah, yeah, I think, it's the time thing is also a factor, and then you don't need to rush these things, like, when he's already,
Mm-hmm.
like, at his end there, at the end game, you don't need to, like, throw the end game.
Yeah, I agree. You could have left Mega Boulder, but if it doesn't kill, you lose, and for no reason. So I think you
Yep.
playing a little bit slow is fine. Yeah, there's really no way he could have killed you there, even if he got it. Like getting a 120 damage Mega Boulder off when you can't get height on the Mega Boulder is really hard. So yeah, I mean, it was well played, man. Good job.
And then my last question is I noticed that your book uses Mega Boulder and Death Knight to basically finish off your opponent while you find other opportunities to pepper them down. Um, but what tools do you use when the opponent has defensive tools that can get them to very high HP totals and like endure the ammunition of your spells? Do you feel ever that you're afraid of running out of damage with a book like this? Or do you just think that you're always going to be able to have enough damage even when the map gen takes the game into a hyper long end game?
So it's a sequence, right? First you try to use your Dark Knight Mega in no particular order. And if that fails, you have Swarm, Aura, and the Pocket Sand. So
Right.
usually no game has gone to that extent that I've played
Hmm.
in this tournament. But if that happened, then yeah.
Just play precise and don't worry about games where the enemy plays for 600 HP. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
And I know I said last question, but I actually have one more really important question. Uh, Throughout this interview, you mentioned a few times Machine and the way the Machine played. Obviously, the opponent that you just played in the finals was Nev. And now you are our season 27 champion. Going through this tournament, retaking your crown as the most recent tournament winner, um, you did have a number of amazing opponents to fight against. Who would you say stood out to you and why? Um, in terms of all the matches you played, is there anybody that you would like to shout out as an opponent, who you really felt earned your respect? As I already mentioned, you earned Machine. Would you say that that was your hardest match, or maybe is there somebody else that you haven't mentioned that you would like to mention? Anything like that?
Yeah, I think Machine with when he brought Portal was my hardest match, and if I got a really good pocket sand play on him, but if he played more methodically and whatnot, I think he could have taken a game off me.
Hmm. Very nice thing. And then, not as a question, but just as an opportunity while we have you here on the desk, is there anybody else that you would like to shout out, thank, um, any supporters, fans, anybody of the sort, like just anything you feel like saying on your own?
I guess the people that keep this game going. This is a it's a nice hobby for me. I get to enjoy every now and then. So all the people keeping it running, thank you.
And I have to echo that sentiment. Thank you to everybody who does help to push forward Arcanists, to the entire dev team, especially, of course, Pure. Thank you to all of you guys, the players who are playing the game, because without the players, there'd be no game, and the mods, the art team, the art direction, and of course, I must give an additional thanks to my fellow commentators, Owa next to me tonight. Thank you so much, as well as Usman. Shout outs to our glorious tournament host for the finals, and of course, shout outs to our boy Ink, who is getting pretty busy these days. So big shout outs to Usman for stepping up and filling those shoes tonight, and enabling us to be able to enjoy this together. And then, of course, shout outs to everybody else who's just playing the game, watching, participating, and just generally here. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Shout outs to everybody on the broadcast. Any closing remarks?
No, I think you pretty much handled it, man. Yeah, we have the best game. I feel like
This game
it's
is
my
fire.
favorite. It's my favorite
This
game. It's
this
it's
game is
the
fire.
best game I've ever played, and I am continuously grateful that I'm able to log in and play it every single day. So I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the people that the tournament hosts and the people that keep the tournament scene going because it's been a blast to participate in the last couple years, and I look forward to the next one. I think it's gonna be low times maybe, like we usually alternate. So that's kind of my forte as well. I really like low times, so I'm excited
Yeah.
for it.
All right. And then give an opportunity. Thank you so much, DX, for joining us. Give an opportunity for Uzman. Is there anything that you wanted to say here as our host tonight? All right. Yeah, he is good to go. All right. So I think that's going to be it for us. That is the match. Thank you all so much for watching, so much for joining. When we have information about season 28, you can obviously find it in the Discord. But of course, that's Uzman, that's Oa, and I'm Pierce. Thank you for everybody playing, watching. This has been a blast. We'll see you guys next time.